But in all of that, I started to realize this morning that potentially dealers' privacy policies are not as relevant or strong as they probably should be now. As so many dealers have so many tags and scripts on their sites that are watching what's going on in these websites and then potentially selling that data to some other party for many other different reasons. It could be a vendor is just trying to make your ads better, and they're trying to collect information and make you stronger, but that information is going to someone else. And a lot of these privacy acts don't get into a lot of depth as to how far somebody's data is going. And I started to think that maybe dealers should be talking to their attorneys to find out whether they need to change their in-store Privacy Act notices to be more in line with their website Privacy Act notice as well. What do you guys think?
Why would you say in-store?
So the in-store notice, actually, I can share an old one. This one's probably nearly 10 years old. This is from my checkered flag days. This is one that ADP, as you can see down here, supplied us. So this is even prior to CDK. Tell you how old it is. But this goes through what's going to happen with the deal with the customer's financial information. So we're looking at Social Security numbers and income and maybe account balances and payment history, things that you pull up in a credit report. If this hasn't been updated to also start to talk about how some of the anonymized data might be shared. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but I just started thinking maybe there's some marriage of Privacy Act things that might need to occur to better protect dealers now that we're starting to figure out that, hey, the data that's on my website, which I thought belonged to me, is going all over the place and being used for who knows what.
That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah, and we're seeing internationally, you're seeing a lot more of this. Like overseas, they have the GDPR, which is probably the strictest set of regulations about when you come to a website, they have to pop up and say, hey, we're tracking you for analytics purposes. And do you want to opt into this or do you want to opt out? And for a lot of what they do, they're not allowed to do it until you opt in now. And if you ask them to remove all information about you, they must comply. And this applies to essentially any data they capture on you. And if you go to the source of that data, like Google Analytics, for example, you can ask for your data to be removed from all locations at once. And I think it's inevitable that that will end up coming over here as well, because it's a privacy concern that's on the rise. Which means dealers are going to have to update a lot more than just their privacy policy if that happens.